This is worksheet 30.4, and on number 1 we're going to fill in the unit circle with all of the angle measures, both in degrees and in radians. So in degrees we're going to start at 0 degrees here, and all of these large gaps are always a 30-degree difference. So here we have 30 degrees, and the small gaps are always 15 degrees. So plus 15 plus 30 gets us to 90 degrees. Plus 30 is 120. 135, 150, plus 30 is 180, plus 30 is 210, plus 15, 225 and 240, 270 plus 30 is 300, 315, 330, and back up to 360 degrees, which is the same as 0. Now in radians, this is based off the fact that there are 2 pi radians around the entire circle. So 0 and 2 pi are equivalent to each other. If there's 2 pi radians on the entire circle, that means half of the circle, or the equivalent of 180 degrees, is pi. There's a couple ways you could go about this. One way is just to memorize all of the radian values of the angles. So I'll write them in here, and then we'll look at a way of doing this without having to memorize it and just being able to produce it from scratch each time. So here we have pi over 6, pi over 4, pi over 3, pi over 2. Then over here we have 2 pi over 3, 3 pi over 4, and 5 pi over 6. Down here we have 7 pi over 6, 5 pi over 4, and 4 pi over 3. This is 3 pi over 2, 5 pi over 3, 7 pi over 4, and 11 pi over 6. And back up here we have 2 pi. If you want to be able to reproduce this without having to memorize all of these values, you can think of the top of the circle being split into 12ths. The only thing here, though, that you need to remember is that some of the values that are not labeled here end up being part of the breakdown if you're splitting it up into 12ths. So this first gap right here where we don't have an angle measure labeled, is 1/12 of pi. The second one would be 2/12 of pi, which means that's equivalent to pi over 6 if you reduce it. This is 3 pi over 12, which reduces to 1/4. This is 4 pi over 12, which reduces to 1/3. Then you have another gap here, which is 5/12 pi, and then up here back to pi over 2, you have 6 pi over 12. 7 pi over 12 is the gap here, which brings us here to 8 pi over 12, which reduces to 2 over 3. And then you can just keep going throughout the entire circle in 12ths. All of the values would end up reducing to these values here. All the way around here, back up to here, which would end in 24 pi over 12, which reduces to 2 pi.